And welcome into Getting Help from Uncle Sam. Well, it's been almost probably about a year and a half ago that this young man sat in that seat. We gave you a farewell to arms as you left Sweet Home Alabama to go to Never Never Land, Washington, D.C. This is Congressman Barry Moore, 2nd Congressional District. And at that point, it was the end of December. You were going up to get sworn in, and boy, there's probably a lot of swearing going on with that swearing in.
Yeah, you know, Jack, Daddy always said the only job you start at the top is well drilling. We truly, when we got there in January, we had no idea what we were headed into for this 14 months. And so we didn't start at the top, we started at the bottom. And so, you know, it's been a trying time. I mean, my third day on the job was January the 6th, and they tried to impeach Trump with 7 days remaining in his tenure. And then, of course, Biden being sworn in and Pelosi taking the gavel. It's been a challenging 14 months, would be an understatement, I would think.
Of course, you've done a great job.
Thank you.
I mean, the nice thing about it, you're the new guy on the block, but you didn't act like the new guy on the block. You made your voice heard, and you made your whatever we needed to do that's best for this country, as well as Alabama heard also.
Well, you know, the one thing I learned, and I served 8 years in the Alabama House, and I think that kind of reveals a lot of people's character is the quest sometimes for power, and that it gets a hold of people who get elected. And we send good people all the time, and the system gets its hooks in them, and it pulls them into, well, you can do this or you can do that. But, you know, I went up, found the House Freedom Caucus, joined in with Jim Jordan, and people like that who I truly think at the end of the day, they have the best interest for the American people in representing your individual liberty. And so I got in with the House Freedom Caucus and made some great friends. My wife, Heather, traveled up with me, and so she's there when I'm there. We make a great team because we were empty nesters. Our youngest had went off to college. So Heather's with me when I'm there, and we've built some great relationships with people that we can trust and we believe in. And so, yeah, we have made a difference in a sense, being a young freshman, but also just having a lot of prayers at home for us, and being grounded, having 8 years experience here and taking that to D.C., I think it's been good for us.
What can the people, our viewers, because most of our viewers are older people.
Right.
Let's face it. And they're concerned like I am.
Sure.
I've said, in my lifetime, I never thought I would see my country the way it is and things happening. What can we do as citizens to make a voice heard or to be able to help you in your endeavors up there?
Well, you know, first and foremost, I believe in prayer.
Absolutely, we all do.
We have, I have said this before in interviews, you know, the Republicans and the Democrats, no matter how well a politician speaks or how you know, articulate he may be and how many great points he may have, I still think at the end of the day, we're in a spiritual battle for the future of the country, Jack. I don't think
absolutely,
and we have to understand who the enemy is. And so I think keep us in your prayers and don't give up hope. You know, faith without works is dead. We got to keep working. I think I've always heard you don't need to lean on a shovel and pray for a hole.
Amen.
So we're constantly working, and we appreciate the prayers. And I think to people to know there's hope. We've got some ideas, we've got some opportunities, and we'll take the majority of the midterm. We've got to do something with it when we get the ball.
Absolutely, because we've had opportunities. When I say we, the Republican Party's had opportunities where they had everything in their favor, and it was just kind of like, okay, what do we do? And nothing happened.
Yeah, I think Leader McCarthy understands that, and I've heard from Newt Gingrich the last couple of weeks. I was with him just before I flew down, and he understood the contract with America. Even with the Democrat in the White House, he was able to make some pretty solid gains for the American people, finding those issues that we can all agree on, and I think putting those forward. And I think Leader McCarthy's working on a commitment to America similar to the contract with America. And he understands, we all understand that many times the Republicans have been given the ball and we've taken a knee deep in our own territory. And then the Democrats push when they pushed the country so hard left in the last few months that I think it's incumbent upon us to pick up the ball and move it back to midfield. And so, I'm confident we'll be able to get some good things done. But again, I cherish the prayers. I know that at the end of the day, that's where wisdom comes from.
Absolutely, totally. And of course, you talked about the midterms. And everybody said, well, it looks real good for the Republicans. It does look real good for the Republicans if it's done right. Are we feeling comfortable that during the midterms things will, when I say done right, that there's not going to be any cheating? And that's going to be hard to pinpoint, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think we learned some things from 2020
Right.
and COVID that we will not repeat again. Now, the Democrats tried to bring in, the first bill they tried to bring in was H.R. 1 under Pelosi's gavel.
Yes.
And that was going to do away with voter ID, and it was going to allow mail-in ballots and all of that. But thank goodness, even Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema in the Senate saw that that would be bad for America and bad for election integrity. And so they kind of held the wall there. They kind of held the line and helped us to kill that. And so Sita Mitchell she's going around the country and she's working on election integrity, training poll watchers, and so she comes from CPI, the Conservative Policy Institute. So we'll have just like in Virginia, there were well-trained poll watchers who understood their rights and were able to kind of make sure the process went well for Glenn Youngkin in Virginia. I think that from what we learned in COVID and from what we've implemented since then, I feel like election integrity will be we'll have much more secure elections than we had in 2020. Not to say there won't be some cheating, there probably will be in some areas, but hopefully we have enough trained poll watchers we can keep an eye on it.
And thank you, Congressman Moore. Glad to have you with us, and we're going to have him back in the next couple of weeks because there's lots more we need to know about what's going on in our nation's capital. We'll be right back right after this.